What's up, everybody? It's Joe Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneakers Show. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, my two friends. First off, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
Here we are.
We are here.
Not Matt Melty.
Nope.
Matt.
I had a little mishap last intro. Matt Welty, not Matt Melty. Double cupped up. To my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
What up?
Usually I come in Tuesday and I feel like, oh, I haven't seen this guy in a while, but I did see this guy.
We've been with each other nonstop, joined at the hip. How does it feel?
It feels good. I was outside. Poppy was outside. Okay? You know? Put that knife talk on. Listen, you know?
But the question is, was it Oppie outside?
Oh, was it Oppie outside? It was a nice summer night. It was a nice night. What I said, we'll talk about the event, I don't know, later on, but it was a nice end to the summer.
Beautiful weekend. I had a beautiful weekend. Saw our friend Action Bronson at the San Gennaro Festival. Welty, you'll be happy. I ate a slab of meat there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Bronson said to me that we need to have another conversation soon. So
let's do it here.
Yeah, I mean,
Make it happen.
I would hope that means he's got another pair of New Balances or two or three on the way.
Yep.
Do you know anything about that?
Well, he showed the shoes on Instagram. We've talked about it on the podcast.
It's teased him a little bit.
1906.
Yeah, I'm not sure. You know, he didn't say that to me in person. I'm hoping we can have Bronson back. Even though we've talked to him a bunch of times about sneakers, I'm always happy to talk to him. He's like a Fat Joe type character to me.
There's so much
Love
things.
to talk to him
so
daily.
much you can talk to him about, more than just shoes too. So.
Yeah, like what?
Life,
working out,
all the
the gym,
all the amazing things that the universe.
Yeah, you do that in private. We don't. Okay. No, just kidding. Work out, of course. You guys working out. You haven't worked out with him though, huh? Okay.
We talked about it once, but it hadn't transpired. I'm just saying, there's like he's a man of many.
Come on, he's a Renaissance man.
Yeah, of course.
Have you ate slabs of meat with him like him?
No, we need to.
Oh, okay.
Welty, how was your weekend?
It was a weekend.
Okay.
Nothing to report, or nothing that we
nothing.
can report publicly.
Nothing. Not that I.
No mishaps like last episode we went through all your trials and tribulations.
No, hey,
scot-free weekend.
Yeah, I think
you got on the other side of it.
Yeah, the universe was looking out for me.
Nice.
Nothing to report.
Nothing. I don't think so. Unless there's like something that you're. Like,
No. I just want to know how you've been. Like I said, I've been hanging out with Joe, and I haven't heard from you in a couple days.
Something that you're like, that one thing.
No,
wink, wink.
no, I'm not referring
to
anything in particular. But I'm happy you had a nice weekend.
Saturday night, the Nike event, World Basketball Festival. Saw a lot of great people there.
Yes.
A lot of good performance. It felt like a New York night. Felt like a New York night. Where do we want to start with it?
One more comment. Oh, I didn't realize what you were talking about at first. One more reoccurring trend that happened at that thing. Travis Scott
at the Nike World Basketball Festival.
Travis Scott continues to wear the world's worst pants.
So this is interesting. I actually had a theory about this. Travis Scott was among the many Nike talent that were there at the World Basketball Festival.
Do you think he's trying to cover up the footwear?
Yes, totally. And maybe this is a conspiracy theory, but he had on these gigantic pants that were very much covering up his shoes. And I remember when the first photos emerged of Travis Scott there at the event, I was like, what shoes is he wearing?
I thought he was barefoot the first photo I saw.
Wow, that's
I really
interesting.
Thought.
And then when I went to the event and, we were in the general vicinity of Travis Scott, didn't try to get too close. Again, you could see his shoes were covered up, and I very much thought, and this is pure conspiracy theory mode, but I feel like it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that he wore the pants on purpose to hide the shoes.
Method to his madness.
Could it be?
Maybe.
Am I stretching?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know. It's just like I mean, I actually thought about that.
But either way, you don't appreciate the pants he was wearing.
No, I mean, but I saw that. I think I was thinking about that yesterday when I saw that picture, because the first time I saw the picture, I really thought he was barefoot. And I was like,
at the event?
Yeah, I really thought he was walking around
as a protest to Nike or what?
You got a splinter on that court.
No, I don't know. I just thought he was walking around barefoot just because of the way it looked. And then when I saw it, because the pants are so egregiously bad. No, we could just be honest about it. They are, right? And like,
I would never wear those pants.
Really bad pants. Yeah, just really bad pants.
We could just be honest about my personal opinion about his pants.
Yeah, I think there's an objective opinion that those pants are bad.
An objective opinion?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that not an oxymoron?
Well, you did say sicko mode isn't a slap, so.
Ooh.
You're comparing.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying what you said.
Probably his biggest song of all time to his probably biggest pants of all time.
We're fucking
no,
back.
I'm comparing. Comparing bad takes.
Apologies for the language. I know. Last week I dropped the F-bomb. This week I dropped the F-bomb. If we have any,
did?
If we have any,
just now?
Yeah.
What'd you say? We're effing back?
Younger.
Get demonetized.
Younger people in the audience.
Make a note back in the studio. We
for
can't
the foul language.
Can't be demonetized.
You know, I went into the Nike World Basketball Festival feeling cynical, as I often do, that it was just going to be another brand event. But I really was impressed. They had a nice array of Nike DNA artifacts and then forward-looking footwear. LeBron 21, the Devin Booker shoe, and also a cool array of, like I said, talent from across the spectrum, basketball players, everybody from Kevin Durant, Devin Booker,
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen was
Jason
there. I ran into Scottie Pippen in the bathroom.
Did you ask him how his NFT project panned out?
No, we didn't get a chance to speak there in the restroom. Sabrina and I did get a chance to speak about the coming Oregon-Colorado game. Should be an easy one. Not much to say there.
This guy works the room. It's not even the room. It's the court. I saw him walking around. You thought he was MC. Angie Martinez was emceeing the event. I thought this guy was emceeing the event at one point.
Was it too thirsty, me walking up to everybody there that I'd ever interviewed and be like, hey, it's me?
He couldn't even keep track. And he popped out with the Oakleys on at night.
Low light. They're low light shades. I did speak to PJ Tucker and made another plea for him to come on Full Size Run. And it sounded to me like he verbally committed to come on Full Size Run. So we have a possible PJ Tucker guest appearance coming up on the show.
There we go.
Yeah. Also, Wemby, as we mentioned.
Oh, Wemby, yes.
Wemby, our coworker Ben Felderstein pointed this out to us. Wemby there on the court sitting next to Stash. What a visual.
Yeah.
Just Wemby next to anybody.
He's so tall. And Wemby even sitting down.
Dwarfs everybody.
We were just like, he is so tall. Yeah. That was a big, everyone was talking about that.
That was a big guy.
Yeah. KD and the Knock the Glides. I see you, KD.
You and him aligned on footwear preferences.
Yeah, we built before the No, we didn't. But
no, but you know what? What I so enjoyed about the event is that Avengers moment. And that photo that they captured at the end of seeing everybody who was there all together. And it felt like akin to what we experienced at the Nike Forum event in 2020 in terms of this huge moment and all this energy in one space. And like I said, coming into it, I was like a little cynical and wasn't expecting to really be impressed like that. But I quite enjoyed the evening. Jadakiss performed.
There we go.
Yachty performed.
Yes.
I heard some rumors that Travis Scott was supposed to be the headlining performer, and some people told me that Lincoln Center wasn't having it, and that everybody was aligned on having Travis Scott perform. He was ready to go, but that the venue itself was saying, we're not going to let that happen.
We also heard rumors that they were maybe going to announce a new signing. You didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that.
Bad sources?
I think that somebody was just speculating. Okay. Yeah, I think somebody we work with was just speculating on that one. But
just an all Yachty ACG line. Digging in the archives.
You want Yachty as a Nike Catalyst influencer?
I'm Yachty biased, you know that, but just his love for archives. You know, we did the closet. He said that he would always pull over to the side of the road at some garage sales and look for just random ACGs. So I always like when artists or collaborators, Jerry comes to mind, go and open up the archives. Yeah. You know, Jerry was big on the Adidas archives, but I'm always into when brands sign artists that go into the archives. And Yachty has a deep appreciation for archival footwear across many brands.
Do you think it's weird that Nike has this huge energy moment where they're bringing out all the names, but they don't really have anything like tangible footwear-wise?
Well, the LeBron 21 was there. The Devin Booker one was there.
That anyone realistically cares about?
I think people care about the Devin Booker shoe and the LeBron 21.
Yeah, why don't you think?
I mean, I know you don't care about them. I'm not going to spend my money on them, but I feel like it was a World Basketball Festival, so it makes sense to include basketball footwear past and present. You made me turn into like a Nike homer real quick, but I enjoyed the event, and I feel like they had the right product there. I don't know. What product would you want to see there?
When was what I would say is what was the last big event like this?
To me, it was the Nike Forum event in 2020.
But across all brands, right? Would you say?
What do you mean? Sorry, across all the Nike sub brands?
No, just in the last year, 2 years. What do you think was this?
A sneaker brand having a huge moment.
New Balance, the track thing that Brennan you had gone to, with Jack Harlow performed at.
Okay, now you're being a New Balance.
How big was that compared to this?
I'm not saying it. No, you just said no. I'm not trying to say that. Oh, this is bigger or better. I just genuinely don't care. But
no, you said people don't care though. Which
I'm just saying that. Here's what I'm saying is that there's the bigger thing is that the people who were there rather than people being like, oh my God, look at this shoe, my mind's blown, or like we need to like run towards this product.
Yeah.
There's no wow factor on any of those shoes. Like, okay, they're going to release and they're going to be like solid in the market shoes, but it's not, those shoes themselves aren't like worthy or at the moment or at the height level of garnering this sort of event to celebrate them.
Okay, that's fair. But I will also say, and again, I hate when I get put in the position of defending Nike because that's really not what I like to do. But the event, I think, was more about basketball as a whole and featuring, you know, the performances and featuring these games, these championship games from elite high school basketball players across the country, and then tying that back to product. If it were just a product event, I do agree with you, and I think that it would not have been enough product to sustain this gigantic multi-million-dollar event with a basketball court built on Lincoln Center and all these festivities around it. But I think that it was a cool convergence of product to an extent, but also these are the people who Nike believes in, and these are the young players coming up who may be aligned with Nike in the future. And for me, all that created a holistic experience that was positive, enjoyable, exciting.
Yeah, I had a good time. It was good to be out. Good
Joe
to see
La Puma was there. You never see that.
It was good to see everyone.
You said it was your first event since the Obama era?
It was. It might have been, you know. I missed the dinner, and I had to pop out Saturday night. I still got home in time for Dion, so it was all good.
Ja Morant was there, rolling heavy with the security. Actually, I feel like I saw there at the Nike World Basketball Festival at Lincoln Center a microcosm of what might be the future or the current basketball footwear market, and it was two young kids wearing Crocs trying to get past Ja's security in order to get him to sign something for him. And it just felt like that is so emblematic or reflective of what young people are into in terms of footwear. They have Crocs and they want the Ja Morant shoes, you know?
Crocs are everywhere, yeah. I like Ja had the calm fit, varsity jacket, shorts, and just some dunks. Just like, you know?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Right, Welty?
Yeah.
Okay. The LeBron 21 was there. Okay, Welty. Again, I totally think you have a fair point about none of this footwear being too exciting.
He feels like when we talk about USC right now.
Oh, it's just not that. No, it's just like,
I'm just like, playing.
Yeah.
Did you see the Abalone Nike LeBron 21?
Yes.
With the kind of oil slick pearlescent colorway. Does that do anything for you?
Someone, a friend of mine actually, we were having a conversation the other day, and they said, can you please ask Brendan whether he knows that shoe is bad that he posted online?
I mean, when I post a shoe,
coming at the god.
Okay. They're not coming at you, but they're like, there has to be
Could
troll.
you tell your friend that when I world premiere a shoe and put it on the internet for the first time for everybody to see that there is value in that, regardless of whether or not I like the shoe? Can you tell your friend?
You just said it.
I don't think it's a bad shoe.
No.
The thing that should be obvious if you know our taste is I'm not going to spend my money on a Nike LeBron 21. But to me, that colorway is flashy and reminds me of the best Nike basketball stuff out there. It ties back to the oyster idea that's in the LeBron 21 in general, and the shell and the pearl within it. Totally unmoved.
Yeah.
I love that he's here because not ganging up on him, but I love that he just what are you balling in? The New Balance 650?
Just not balling, but
I know.
And I'm not balling either. Let's make that abundantly clear.
I know that we could go back and forth, but I hear you.
There's certain things in this is like the whole like Travis Scott music situation, right?
Careful.
No, where there's like certain things that and I've always kind of felt this way in sneaker culture in general.
Yeah.
Where it's not like I'm like, screw this sucks.
Yeah.
Everything, but there's just certain things in life that just don't get you excited that people can talk about it till they're like blue in the face and like be like, this
blue
is
face, baby.
Yeah, these are like the big moments, not big moments in sneaker culture, but just certain things that, and you're just like, okay, cool. Like
you're just gonna tap out.
Yeah, just like
no UFC.
You're just like, hey, that's
and I will say
no Valentina who should have won the fight.
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
And what I will say is that, you know, going through the years, you love to bring up like lists and stuff, and you were right on a bunch of stuff.
Certainly.
Okay.
So we value you. We're happy you're here. I'm happy that you're, stage right or stage left to me, you know, disagreeing with everything. I love it.
No, but I feel like he does get painted as a hater.
No, I don't want people to think people be like, oh, Welty's hating. It's just like sometimes when I see it like this, I'm just like, okay, cool. It's like we're here to celebrate like the biggest moment ever, and it's like, what are we really celebrating? It's like a bunch of shoes that all three of us collectively aren't going to care about like after this event.
Don't speak for me.
I care about him.
I can't.
No, you don't.
I do care about him.
Don't speak for me.
I was there
I'll take everything I just said
working
back.
on the weekend, investigating.
Like usual.
The unveil when he pulled I like to be at moments like that where you see somebody unveil a shoe by pulling off a curtain off of it. The Nike D Book 1, does that do anything for you? That has to do a little bit more for you.
It's okay. Like, do you like the shoe?
Yeah.
Do you really like the shoe?
What do you mean, like to buy it?
Yeah.
I don't think I would buy. I haven't bought a basketball shoe in a while, so.
Would it get you excited?
If you were a fan of him?
No. I'm saying, would you have genuine excitement around the shoe if you didn't attend the event?
I'm trying to think what the last shoe I had general excitement for. The cold wall thing. So I can't really go by me.
Didn't you buy those recently, or no? You picked them up?
I didn't because the blue ones released yesterday. I missed the release. I did early access. The thing overslept. $600 they're going for.
Really? The blue cold wall TNs, the big exclusive. JLP shoe?
Yeah.
You missed the boat?
Yeah.
Do you know what a big JLP shoe moment was this weekend? Literal JLP shoe moment. Joe wearing the recently released reverse neon 95s, and he had the JLP shoe bag.
Yeah, talk about it. Go ahead. I'm here for this now.
He's excited.
Now you're excited.
Now we're talking about interesting things.
No, And where was I? I was at the Nike place when I took it. So you were excited.
That's cool. That's
cool. Go. Keep
That's
going.
Cool.
About
That's
me.
interesting. You had the knock the glides in there. It's like
neon green. Team early, baby.
Sorry, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
This is so flattering. I love that he's more excited about your footwear.
I love him. He knows I love him. That's why.
About LeBron James's latest signature model, the first ever Devin Booker signature
model.
Those
shoes are cool. Those shoes are cool. Like I've said it on Full Size. I'm like, oh, it's a cool basketball shoe, but the LeBron 20 just came out, right?
Yeah.
And none of us have talked about it really since it came out. I'm not saying it's a bad performance basketball shoe or whatever. Yeah, but it's just like
I'm the closest.
There's a lot of things in sneakers. There's so many sneakers out there that it's almost like, okay, it's here now and then it's gone. You know, where it's just like these moments pop up and then they just dissipate, never to be thought about in your brain again because there's just so much information in the world, and it feels like this stuff that pops up right now are just those sort of moments for me. You know, where it's like, here today, gone tomorrow.
And this is that thing you talked about of Welty being often right when we look back on the list years later, and you knowing in that moment that these won't matter in the long run, right?
Yeah, there's certain things that I think D-Book, that shoe is, it's not divisive, but some people are like, it's cool, but then some people think it's boring, right?
With every shoe, a lot of people say that about.
Yeah.
I like the shoe a lot.
Me too. I wish, damn, we got sidetracked. The JLP
bag.
Hold
on. Let's bring it back.
Okay.
I get more excited about seeing things that my friends do or are excited about than just being wowed at a Nike basketball product unveiling line with a few celebrities who a few of them I do think are people that I've interviewed and look up to and enjoy their music and their output in the world.
Okay.
But
yeah,
but seeing you with the JLP shoe bag, to me, that's a moment that I thought that stuck out more in my mind of sneaker moments that happened this weekend, more so than a celebrity sitting courtside. I'm being honest with you.
I love you for that. I don't agree, but I love you for that, and we're gonna pound it.
They're giving each other a pound.
I love that.
I respect that.
So do I.
And this is part of why we're on the show together.
Yes,
and why we're all here is because we have differing opinions. Because I could never, no offense to Joe, be excited about him wearing a GR 95.
Not even a little heart on the IG story.
I
got excited because he had the JLP shoe bag, and everyone's saying big JLP shoe, and it almost went like critical mass this weekend. Because didn't it feel like
guys?
This is bigger than the Nike World Basketball
Festival. Listen, humbly, it is going
viral?
Well, here's the thing that I would say. It's not going viral. Here's what I would say. And what I always say, straight to camera, keep them coming, big JLP shoe. But this is what I would say. The hidden requests on Instagram, have you checked your folders lately?
I always do.
Okay. I haven't
dark place.
No. Total opposite. I haven't checked that in months. I just thought it was all if you want to boost your IG. So I never checked. Bro, I checked 4 days ago. If I tell you it is the big JLP shoe epicenter in there. Hundreds.
You do not have hundreds of people in your DMs.
I will show you.
DMing you about big JLP shoes.
I will show you.
Don't show me your DMs. That could go wrong.
There's nothing. There's nothing to hide. What I was
listen for a second.
There's so many, and also I have a bone to pick with IG. How come totally legit Instagram messages are in the hidden requests?
What are they doing in there?
Because I always thought that the hidden requests are always just like the spammy
That's
sort of
what I
things.
thought. It's
but
not.
then once in a while you will actually get like someone who's hitting you up.
Even more than once in a while, people responding to like. Just like
that's the whole T-Pain. Is it T-Pain's issue?
Yeah. He said I played myself and I had all these requests from real legitimate people, business opportunities sitting in the request folder.
Clean those folders out. There's legit people. And I see the big JLP shoe.
Oh, another
another
JLP shoe. I don't know if he hit
you
up.
Is it a big one?
Yes, big JLP shoe. One of the biggest JLP shoes
of all time.
One of the biggest big JLP shoe.
Yeah,
that's gonna be like a future podcast episode when we run out of ideas for headlines. The 10 biggest JLP shoes.
I don't know if you saw a friend of the program, Skate the Great, who he was in Tokyo recently, and he had seen another pair of the Busy Peas, and he hits me up. He's like, "Does your boy need another pair?"
They sent it to me. I don't know if it was him. He sent it to me though. Yeah. I don't though.
It always finds its way.
I don't. He sent it to me though.
That's one of the JLP
Skate
shoes.
the Great was the one who got our boy
Arthur, the Michael Schumacher Nike.
That's an important connection.
Yes.
Another shoe that he posted though that I thought was really interesting was he was in Sneaker Street in Tokyo, and he randomly found it was a MTV Nike Vandal High.
Yeah.
Whoa.
From like I don't know if it was from the 80s or 90s, but it looked very old.
Yeah.
And I remember I sent it to another friend of ours, Brooklyn Dom.
Oh.
I was thinking that if there's a Brooklyn Dom shoe, former MTV VJ, and he had never seen the shoe before, so.
I saw somebody reposted it, and I don't remember who it was, but one of these collectors that we're friends with, and they were, I think, to some extent, questioning the legitimacy of it because they had never seen that version of the shoe before or something like that. But I don't know the full story there, but I do remember that going around over the weekend.
Yeah.
Not nearly as exciting.
I love you.
That's the JLP shoe bag.
I've said I love. Someone put a counter how many times I said I love you, but I appreciate it. Maybe I get you a MJW bag, Paravel. I'm waiting for it. Yeah. You know,
get a lifting belt with the
Yeah. Not you.
What are you getting for me?
We'll see. You didn't react to the story, so.
Nike Book One doesn't do anything for you, Welty?
Just maybe if I see other colorways of it, it's just like not something I'm going to run out to.
Yeah. I just think it's a cool shoe, and anytime a shoe embraces puns in its design, like there's a pull tab on the back that's inspired by the spine of a book, and it has these little clear pieces in it that look like pages of a book.
Yeah,
little details like that are things I quite enjoy, and I think it's cool how the shoe almost looks like a retro shoe. Like they could have just made Devin Booker a Nike Blazer and updated it with modern technology.
It almost looks like a court force.
Yeah. There's a lot of that language in it, right? And the press release from Nike explains to some extent how they wanted to make it classic on the outside, but performance spec on the inside, and it's inspired to some extent by a '72 Chevy Blazer K5 that he has.
Car collection's crazy.
Yeah, where like he put a new engine in it or something like that, but on the outside it still looks like this classic performance car. So I appreciate that and the way they're blurring those lines, and I like that first orange colorway.
I had to put a new engine in my Jeep Cherokee in 2006.
You felt like Devin Booker?
It was overheating, and I kept driving on it.
Oh yeah, you told me this. Yeah.
Really bad. All the smoke. I had to pull over right near Applebee's on Sunrise Highway. All the smoke. I couldn't see anything.
You wanted all the smoke?
Yeah, I thought you were Matt Barnes.
Blew the engine. It was like $7,000 to replace the engine.
That's a lot of insoles.
Yeah.
What about the fat bellied swoosh on that Devin Booker shoe, Welty?
I think
nonplussed.
I think we got it.
Okay. Should we talk about the sneakers we're wearing? Maybe that'll excite us a little bit. Welty, what do you have on feet?
Good footwear.
Big JLP shoe.
Yeah. Keep it going.
End clothing.
And Dunne shoe.
Solomon.
Yep.
Mr. Sology.
Yeah. End clothing Solomon XT6.
And I noticed you're not using the lace garage.
Oh, to tuck it in.
To tuck in, yeah.
Wow, he's living on the edge today.
Do you tuck in?
I like to tuck them a little bit. I just feel like it gets to be too what's the word I'm looking for?
Do you tuck
too
your
out
chain
there
as well?
Yeah, I was gonna say he never tucks his chain, never tucks a Solomon. So that's it's right on brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tiffany Air Force One from me.
Big JLP shoe.
Yeah.
Right on brand.
How many times have you worn them?
3 or 4.
How are they holding
Slight
up?
typo in the Peso Pluma episode on the receipt. We said Tiffany Dunk. Sorry about that. When someone spends $32,000, there's a lot of shoes to keep track of. But yeah,
and we're sorry about that,
Well,
Welty. I mean, we should have
it's
caught
okay.
that.
You guys are busy.
Peso La Pluma.
Peso Pluma.
Dude, I left a comment.
I know
on that.
I tried.
I did not. Not that I'm like, oh, you didn't like add it in there, but I just came to. Remember when we had Jim Jones on the legendary episode of Full Size Run?
Of course, he was going like this with Jim Jones. If you notice in that episode, it's so fire. Yeah, well,
and I was like, remember when you were on the first episode of Sneaker Shopping, and he's like, my man Pluma,
and he had my back. Say his name right. Yeah. What do you mean? Do I remember? I watched that episode.
Some call him Puma. I call him Pluma.
Don't fuck his name up. He said,
"You're
the best."
But you got Peso Pluma, so it's
a little behind the scenes.
Best of both worlds.
Me and Jose were thinking about an intro where it was like La Puma Pluma, but we didn't go with it.
Didn't.
Nah.
No, the creative wasn't there.
Nah.
You went with the Tiffany Air Force Ones, though. You're sticking by the shoe. This is good. We haven't had a Tiffany Air Force One segment on the show in so long. Well, do you remember that span of months where every week we had it?
Not on this one, but it was funny that I think both of us, we came around a little bit to the Tiffany Air Force One.
We got him.
Courtesy of, now your new friend.
Right, close friend.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Mm-hmm. We got him.
She had a really good fit with the shoe that made sense in like a non-sneaker heady sort of way. She was just wearing a black skirt dress
black
with
black sweatsuit.
You're doing it okay too, John.
With those, and it looked good on her in that instance.
He roasted me over the Stephen A fit with these.
What was the Stephen A fit?
The ACG jacket, which I threw out.
This is for the Stephen A. Smith episode of Sneaker Shopping?
Your fit got roasted so hard you threw the jacket out?
No.
Yes. No. That's totally what happened.
It's not, because I wore
When was this? This was earlier this year? You shot a Sneaker Shopping episode with Stephen A. Smith?
And it was fine. It was the black Holland ACG.
They fried me, young.
Yeah, so listen, no, I didn't throw it out. I shouldn't say.
Threw it
no,
out?
I wore it on an episode upcoming, and then I was like,
Shopping.
yeah, I was like, hey, I love this jacket. I've had good memories in this jacket.
Some bad memories. Scrolling through the YouTube comments.
Oh, yeah. And Holland, when they said it was 90 degrees, which it was, he came in the shorts and the pandas. I had ACG, all conditions gear. We talked about that. But I wore it on another episode that actually drops Monday. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, listen, it's time to retire this jacket. So
totally of your own accord. Not at all influenced by the thousands of people online who are telling you it was a bad look.
Nah, because I wore it after they roasted Stephen A. But yeah.
Nike Air Footscape woven on feet for me. Am I doing too much the matching thing? Look at the color with the pants. With
You're
the shirt.
doing it just right.
Oh,
It's the Sneakers Day / not Sneakers Day shoe.
You were right. I was right. The shoe kind of released. We had a behind the scenes conversation about this. Anyways, it's here. It's on my feet. I'm happy about that. These feel better than I remember. I've had some Footscape conversations with people recently because the shoe has been in the milieu in the past couple months, and I don't remember Footscapes being particularly
So we had that conversation the other day.
Yeah.
There's another colorway of the Footscapes coming out. They're like...
Of the Footscape woven again.
Sorry. Yeah. Footscape woven. Brown sole, brown webbing, tan suede upper, I believe. And I saw this shoe and I was like, oh, this shoe is awesome.
You're all the way in.
Yeah, I'd wear that shoe all the time. And you had said that the Footscape isn't a shoe you want to wear all the time.
Yes. And we have some history with this because this is so ironic. Yeah. We're getting so deep right here. But Welty's wearing Solomon's on feet right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
you said it was uncomfortable.
I did say at one moment in time that Solomon's were kind of uncomfortable, and Welty said that he stayed away from them for a while because of it.
And and if you told me that Footscapes were uncomfortable, I would be like, hey, I don't want to buy them. They're not comfortable.
This is how much he supports us. He's loves your sneaker moments. He takes, he places like the absolute confidence and faith in me for my sneaker opinions. They actually don't feel as uncomfortable as I remember. Although, my pinky toe on my left is like having a little trouble with the woven sections. Also, they were impossible to get on.
Really?
Yes, and this is a women's shoe. It's an 11.5, so men's 10. And for a second, Welty, I was thinking,
it is. I didn't know that it's okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Even the tag on the box didn't say anything about unisex sizing. It didn't even call it a women's shoe on the box. It was just like Nike Air Footscape woven 11.5, and I was like, oh, did I get the wrong size? But I put
Did
them
they
on.
make them in men's and women's? Did you just happen to get the women's one, or are they just all women's releases?
I think it's women's, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But dude, I needed a shoehorn. I really needed a shoehorn. I didn't go grab it. I couldn't find one, but these were hard to get on. So you know, take that for what it's worth.
Zach, the basic great at, like, is it a hard shoe to get on? There's been so many times where he'd hit me, be like, hey, I saw you wearing these. Is it hard to get on? Like, no, not at all.
Our coworker Zach the Basic is soliciting your advice on
2 days later, I'd be like, Zach, they're so hard.
There's nothing worse.
ACG Gore-Tex Mountain Fly was one of them during, like, there was a snowstorm.
That's a big Zach shoe.
I was so happy to put them on. He was like, hey, are they hard to get on? I was like, no, not at all. Trekked a little bit in the snow. I was like, and then put them on again. I was like, Zach, very tough to get on.
Nothing worse than shoes that are hard to get on your feet. You want to know one of the shoes that I would say top 5 hardest shoes to get on your feet?
Another future episode, but let's hear it.
Adidas Ultra Boost.
Yeah.
Tight. The tongue. It's no tongue. There's
attached. No give.
I think people got upset with me because I said I don't like for multiple reasons. I don't like wearing Ultra Boost because they're impossible to get on your feet. And I made a video of me trying to, like, I had it with, like, that's always the, that's always the test for me, is that if you can just put your foot into a shoe, right?
That's
like,
what you want.
Yeah, without having to
no manual assistance.
Yeah, just literally slide your foot in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
Nike Go Fly Ease.
And I was trying to literally, like, put my foot into an Ultra Boost with no hand assistance, and it could not happen.
You sent it straight to Bjorn?
Yeah.
Wait, where is that video? Was that online?
I think I had posted on Twitter. This was a while back. Someone who's been wearing a lot of Ultra Boosts lately.
Who's that?
Jerry Lorenzo. It's his new signature shoe. He's always like a guy that gets one Adidas shoe and just like the
Y3.
The Y3 Zig Knit, I think it's called.
Which is such a classic, one of my favorite shoes.
He's been wearing, it's like a white with a green suede toe box Ultra Boost.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah. That's just, I guess, it's been his flow lately. But
he has the outfit, the LV bandana, the sunglasses, the Ultra Boost. Yeah.
But we've started to see a lot more of the Adidas Fear of God product. I know you were there at the fashion show.
Yeah.
Saw some of it. Some of it in
at
the
a distance, though. It was so hard to.
But it feels like we're actually seeing the product.
Yeah.
Now he had, his daughter's unboxing one of like the basketball lifestyle shoes on Instagram over the weekend.
I don't like that shoe as much as the lifestyle pairs, like the true ones that are based more on retro Adidas models. I think I mentioned here I saw Bar Brown out a couple weeks ago, and he was wearing Adidas Fear of God stuff.
The one with like the really thick. I think they all have the really thick sole on them, but there's like almost like that like cup. Molded-esque sole.
Yeah, I like those. Okay, but I want to see the whole range.
Yeah, excited?
I think it's just. I just don't know what the reaction's going to be on it. I think it's just like a wait and see sort of thing because
But we've done so much waiting.
Yeah,
it's so overdue.
Yeah, like I'm genuinely curious to see how the market's going to react to it.
Yeah,
because I'm not saying it's off trend at the moment, but it's not exactly what everyone's been clamoring for as far as like footwear styles go. Yeah. But obviously, Jerry has a knack for hitting home runs with shoes.
Yeah, and he can dictate that taste too. I feel like there are only a few people who can change those trends and change those tides, and he's one of those people.
I would like to see, I know he has a signature shoe, and I know Jerry's doing his own thing with Adidas, but I would love to see him and Ant Edwards cook up.
Yeah?
Even just some apparel. That would be a good pairing.
Cool.
That'd be a really good pairing to me.
I got to say, the Adidas shoe I'm excited about is that $500 running sneaker. Did you guys see this?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
The Adios Pro Evo 1, a marathon shoe that weighs 4.87 ounces.
Whoa.
Yeah. I know people were upset. We'd posted on Instagram. People are upset about, oh, these aren't even that hot. Like, how are they charging $500 for them? I'm like, dude, this has nothing to do with how the shoe looks.
Yeah.
This is a
performance shoe.
You going to give them a spin?
There's only, I don't run marathons, but it's only meant to be worn to run races.
Yeah.
It's not meant to go jogging in the morning. It's not meant to walk down the street. It's literally, hey, I'm running the LA marathon. These are going to be my shoes for it.
I really want to wear them. And I don't think that they need to cost $500. I do think that's a bit of creative marketing from Adidas to make this a statement shoe. And I actually kind of love the Adizero Boston 10 and Adidas performance model that I've run in a decent amount. They have a couple newer versions of it now, but that's one that like feels good and looks quite good. But I would love to wear these. They're limited to 521 pairs for their first release. You have to sign up for a chance to purchase them. they're obviously trying to build hype around it. And maybe it's working because we're talking about it here on the show. But I want to see more stuff like that from Adidas.
They need to put you in the ad. Remember the Adidas running ad, and it was monotone. Do you
What,
remember
the
some?
headphones?
Yeah, some.
Oh.
What was? But you were running in the Adidas. You had the sneakers on.
Yeah, I mean.
No, but it was the cadence. The cadence. Of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just my standard like.
Exactly. It was just like, and then I went. Well
no, I mean we already
all right,
promoted headphones on my IG.
Take bar. We're not about the ad. It's about your
promo.
comic wit.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay.
Thank you for supporting me.
Yeah.
Should we talk about this catastrophic fail that was the latest sale of the Yeezy Grammy samples?
Pretty big news last week.
Yes, these shoes
Went very wide. Anytime there's like an auction that breaks through, especially dealing with a Yeezy, Grammy, Nike, and it goes super, super mainstream, especially when they fall off in value, it seems.
And this was
substantial.
This was all at the apex of pandemic era.
Yes.
Spending a ton on collectibles.
You mean when the shoe first sold?
Yeah. When the Rares, you had done the interview with the owner of the shoe.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we didn't know at the time, or maybe some people did, that was the true apex of sneaker prices. And now looking back on it, maybe it is. But the Grammy Nike Air Yeezy 1 sample that Kanye West wore sold in 2021 at Sotheby's via a private sale for $1.8 million to this company, Rares, which was built around this idea of fractional investment, basically, where they would obtain these super rare sneakers and you could buy shares in the sneakers. And then the idea was that later on down the line...
It doesn't...
It's so stupid.
Later on down the line that they would sell the shoe for more money and you would stand to gain if you were a shareholder in the sneaker. And this came in the pandemic. Not very nice. This came in the pandemic when people were starting to think so much more about sneakers as an asset class. The famous Bloomberg Business Week story where Anna Bear's son was unmasked was, I think, titled something to the effect of, this is not a sneaker, this is an asset class. So this just supercharging this whole new group of people investing in shoes as assets.
Just that whole moment of Bored Apes, NFTs,
trading cards.
Yes.
Was it NBA Hot Shots?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that, where you're even not even just super rare sneakers, but just all of a sudden like the Nike SB Dunk boom, where it's like random shoes are now going for over $1,000. Like it was funny just because it's like the pandemic was upon us and it seemed like people were about to bunker down and not have money. But then
spending went crazy.
Yeah, and then the prices went through the roof. It was just like you could almost foresee these things crashing because it's like wait, no one's gonna have any money. We're headed towards a recession, but all of a sudden we think that things are worth more than ever.
And I think dealing with this company, it was basically this Yeezy purchase was really a big kind of media introduction to it.
Yes.
It seemed like they were filling kind of like what the company was intended to do.
Yes.
But also to come onto the scene with this purchase.
Huge splash.
Seemed like it was also PR, essentially.
Yeah, I think so.
And you got to interview them.
Yes, I interviewed Jerome Sapp, one of the co-founders, when they first bought the shoe from Sotheby's.
So
yeah, and we got to set the stage here too, just so people understand the fall off. The shoe sold in 2021 via Sotheby's via a private sale for $1.8 million. A year later, Rares was trying to sell it at Christie's, and Christie's wasn't really publicizing the figures at that point, but they told us they were anticipating $2.5 million.
Oh, okay.
But right around the time they were trying to sell it, September 2022, Ye just totally fell apart, went turbo on the anti-Semitism, totally torpedoed any goodwill he had with anyone. Christie's canceled that sale, and then a year later, now in 2023, Goldin sold the shoes for a mere $150,000, $180,000 after fees. These shoes lost 90% of their value.
It's a lot.
It's just
how does this happen?
It's just so nuts, and it's like, how down bad was Rares
to sell it?
To sell it when you know Kanye West is at his career
nadir.
Yeah, rock bottom or any sort of collectible, or like the collectibles market is in the dog pile right now, right? And Kanye West's public popularity is at its lowest it's ever been.
Yes.
So how, with those two things aligning, are you going to have a nearly $2 million investment and decide this is the time to offload it?
Yes.
Unless you're so cash strapped that it's a salvage,
just get a little bit back.
Liquidation sale.
Everything must go.
The other factor here is how much did they overpay from the beginning?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, so the thing is, I've talked to some people who we all know, and I won't mention their names explicitly, but who buy and sell these rare shoes and who are very into that market and who participate regularly in that. And they're all telling me now, like, yeah, that number was always too high.
And you interviewed Jerome Sapp. And even in that interview, I remember you being like, you know, I'm skeptical of, I want to paraphrase, I'm skeptical of how much value this is actually worth or how much the shoe is actually worth. You said that in the interview. And it may have started from overpaying.
Right. And like, the thing is, the people who are invested in these things, it's really not in their interest to ever say that the prices are too high. You know, guys who make their living buying and reselling sneakers, I don't think they ever want to publicly be on the record being like, yeah, those prices were inflated, because they benefit from these things being worth millions of dollars. Well, I mean, $2 million.
Look at our show, right? The first episode in this studio, the topic was the Scars Air Force One selling for $120,000. Like, all love the Clark Kent and Scars Pizza.
Of course, we love them.
And PG, your friend who sold it.
There's no reality which that shoe is worth $120,000.
And I've always felt that, but it's a hard thing to put out there when the market dictates the reality of the prices. And if the market says this is worth that much and someone pays that much for it, then to some extent you have to say, okay, but I just don't know what the basis for all this stuff is. It just seems
a lot of... You're almost like trying to fudge the numbers on one shoe in hopes that it's like this sort of tide that's going to bring the value of everything else up. Like it's this long-term plan of, you know,
juicing the market across the board.
I think the Scars one, and like you said, shouts to everyone involved. Clark was here, and we talked about it. We love everyone involved, but the Scars one is probably the biggest example of recent 120,000. We knew it was super limited, but I don't know. I can't fathom what has to happen for that to sell at 120,000. It's crazy.
Especially now when you consider the new price that these Yeezys have gone for. If the market corrected itself and the Grammy Nike Air Yeezy 1 sample, which by all accounts is way more valuable and way more historically significant than a Scars Air Force One. If that shoe just sold for $180,000 after fees, then a Scars has to be.
So there's already so many pairs. There's not a lot of pairs of the Scars Air Force Ones.
Yeah, super limited.
There was only like 50 pairs, I believe, something.
I don't know the exact number
along that line, but it's still a shoe that's in production to some extent, even if there is less than 100 or so pairs in the universe, but. The Kanye shoe is something. It's like a Smithsonian
memorabilia, 100%.
And 100%. I'm not saying I understand it worth being $1.8 million.
Right.
It sold for $60,000 more than the Scar Air Force One.
That gap doesn't make sense. And then to me, that means the Scars are just not worth anywhere near that, which is something I believe for years now.
Yeah.
I will say Rares, outwardly, it's looked for a while now like the company has shut down or slowed down to some extent. You go to their IG, they haven't posted anything in months. The only comments that are on the latest posts are people complaining about where their money is or you know, pointing out how much of a loss they sold the Yeezys for. I've emailed both of the co-founders. We've mentioned I interviewed Jerome Sapp a couple years ago, who was a co-founder. None of them have responded to my emails, but I did send some messages to employees, and one of them confirmed to me that the company is shutting down. They said, quote, this is from a Rares employee saying, unfortunately, as a result of challenging economic circumstances, Rares was unable to secure the necessary funding to sustain operations through the remainder of 2023. At this time, we're in the process of winding down operations.
Macroeconomic trends.
This explains a lot why this auction happened and why it happened for such a little amount of money. Because also, this is at Goldin, and I don't think there was a reserve price on the auction. Like, why would you sell something that you paid $2 million for with no reserve? And to me, a reasonable answer is that everything must go, and you're trying to recoup some of the money.
And clearly we don't know, so we don't want to say, but just a speculation. Like I said, everything must go. It feels like a lot of these companies that got involved in the collectibles business probably had people pumping money into them to prop them up in the first place. So there's people wanting return on investments that they owe money to.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I mean, the people who, that was their whole business model, right? Was like people buying the shares of the shoes too.
Yeah.
Like any of those people are going to want their money back.
Did you talk to Goldin about this?
I did reach out to Goldin. Nobody wanted to comment. It's funny too, like all these auction houses who are so eager to cash in.
When things are good?
Yes. And they're so eager to rely on outlets like ours who cover sneakers to help contextualize
build their business.
Yeah, the significance and the cultural importance and to some extent the value of these shoes. They all want to talk to us. When the shoes don't sell for as much or when the things start to slump, then nobody has any comment or nobody could talk to you. It's like, you guys have been sending us press releases for years about all these super expensive shoes that they're going for sale and breaking records, and now you can't tell me like why the shoe is worth 10% of what it used to be. Bit of a frustrating one. Just my thoughts.
Okay.
I did also trace to some extent the chain of custody for the shoe. So the Grammy Nike Air Yeezy one was originally went up for auction via Soul Collector charity auction back in the day, and then I think changed hands, and Justin Amazing from the Heat Check, who also is involved in Legacy with Puneet, he acquired them. He told me in 2015 he was asking $75,000 for them. He says the Grammy Museum offered him $20,000 back then, and also that someone from Chris Brown's team wanted to buy a pair. He dropped the price to
interesting.
$50,000.
Did anyone write about that?
I'll probably publish something soon.
That's like where it went. The history of it.
I know. Like this thing has changed hands a number of times.
That's really interesting.
But it's funny because if you think about it, and obviously the sneaker market has sort of, dictated things go higher because other things are worth X amount of dollars, but if you just take that out of it, like if you take the idea of how much Paris Dunks are worth or Pigeon Dunks, so this must be worth X amount of dollars, being offered $20,000 for the pair of sneakers actually seems like, oh, that's a pretty good cash in for one pair of shoes.
Yeah, especially back then before all these prices went insane.
Yeah, $20,000 for a pair of sneakers, like you just tell someone that, they'd say, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And also it's a great $20,000 to own those. Piece of memorabilia.
So Justin says that he eventually accepted an offer for $25,000 from someone from the UK, a collector who said they wanted them for their personal collection, but then that collector promptly listed them on Flight Club next week for $130,000. The shoes were listed on Flight Club from November 2017 to August 2018, never sold and withdrawn by the seller. And then years later, I don't know how many times they changed hands from then, but the next time I remember them being sold is via Sotheby's for $1.8 million.
We should do a social asset of just the...
Yeah. That is the king of, when people are like, oh, man, I should get the Travis Scott Jordans or the Chunky Dunky SBs because, I'd really like to wear them. You know when you see those comments all the time? No, because I want to wear them.
Yeah.
That's like, to me, it's like, oh, I just want them to keep in my personal collection because I'm a real collector. And then 2 days later, you put them on Flight Club for
$130,000.
Yeah, for 5 times the value.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it's a crazy market. And one of the interesting people whose names pops up in these sales a lot is a guy named Ryan Chang, and he's the one who sold them via Sotheby's for the $1.8 million when Rares acquired them.
What do you think he's doing right now with this news?
I mean, he's the biggest winner of all this. He runs something called Applied Arts NYC, which is described...
Just listening to Can't Tell Me Nothing on repeat.
These auction house press releases call this a media company that celebrates sneakers as fine art objects when really it just looks like an Instagram page that posts shoes. I've tried to interview this guy multiple years. I've been trying to reach out to this guy, but won't talk to me.
Do you think it's funny how sometimes, how a lot of these people who buy and sell these uber rare shoes for a lot of money try to make it seem like if they make any sort of public comment or if anyone finds out who they are, it's going to be the end of the world? And it's like, dude, nobody cares.
I care.
I know you care, but I mean...
Yeah,
you feel like they feel like their life's going to come to an end.
Yeah, they want to be anonymous a lot of the times.
Yeah. It's just very odd behavior.
And I want to know more about this Ryan Chang guy because a lot of the people who we know who are involved in high end or volume reselling, people like Corgi or Dre or your friend PG, our friend, these people have been around for years and we've seen their names. This guy, his name keeps popping up and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Again, all these press releases from auction houses carrying his stuff, calling like, quote, a world-renowned collector or something like that.
Does our boy PG vouch for him?
I've never really heard of him outside of that or know anybody in the sneaker world who knows him. The only way I know him is from reselling super valuable shoes. That it's almost like he's trying to be like the Larry Gagosian of the sneaker world and like just pump up these prices as much as possible, especially when you look at, sorry, I'm rambling here, but all these quotes from him. This is a quote from Sotheby's when he was selling a pair. "One thing for sure, value and how we define it is changing. I think the public will start to revere some highly coveted sneakers just as they revere masterpieces by Norman Rockwell and Winslow Homer, because they'll view all these objects as cultural artifacts."
But so here, the issue with that is that I think sneakers are worth something.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it a lot on here, where the reality of shoes is so much different than art, because shoes they have a finite lifetime. Much obviously everything does, right? Everything is going to turn to dust one day. But I think the idea of a sculpture or a painting, you have
being
those,
analogous to a pair of sneakers.
Yeah, from 200 years ago, you can still have one of those, and it can still be seen as a piece of art.
You don't think sneakers have the same shelf life?
I feel like these
because in 30 years that shoe's going to be completely crumbled and cracked, and
even on display, you think?
I feel like there's a way you could preserve it.
To some extent, maybe, but
the Kanye Grammy.
I'm not saying it's not worth something. I think
it is. I think it is art in, like, if you envision it in a glass case and like
just saying everything is all of a sudden going to be like this museum of rare shoes. Maybe I just don't see it, because I think that these things are just going to crumble one day. You know, that's my take. It's funny you mentioned. I was thinking about it the other day. Funny you mentioned Dre, a friend of ours who owns Project Blitz in Los Angeles area. Ton of rare shoes. You know,
great visit.
You've
I gotta
been
go
there.
back there.
There was a photo this weekend from, I think it was a sneaker con.
What do you have
in Los Angeles? So
vaguely remember
he was
this.
in the middle. Jeff Staples on one side.
Yep.
P-Rod is on the other side. P-Rod's holding a pair of Paris Dunks. Jeff Staples holding a pair of Pigeon Dunks. And it's like, I don't know.
Face off, maybe? No.
But it's just a very it just marks a moment like that.
Do you wish you were there?
No, but it just.
Sorry.
What do you have? Almost $200,000 or $150,000.
It was just like show what you got.
Yeah,
a little
worth of shoes, like in the middle. Do you think that those shoes are going to be forever enshrined in a museum one day?
I think that it's fair to put them there. I just don't know about the prices around them. And again, I think that a lot of the people who are on the record saying that these things are going to be art or these things should be analogous to a Norman Rockwell painting are the people who stand to gain tremendously, literally millions of dollars.
They're doing their own PR.
Yeah, you know, another quote, there's a cultural shift happening where collectors are responding to shoes the same way we respond to fine art. This is the guy Ryan Chang. Yeah, you would love it if collectors who are spending fine art prices would spend that same amount of money on sneakers, because you're one of the people who is benefiting from it so massively.
The crazy part, though, is that I would say it feels like the majority of people who are actually purchasing the shoes for these absorbent amounts of money aren't people that, I don't want to call them sneakerheads, but it's almost that they're not partaking within the cultural space of shoes or limited footwear.
It does feel like it's adjacent to what we do.
They're people who are coming from the outside in.
That's what it feels like
with a ton of money, who want to become the biggest collectors. Like within the space.
I don't know like who benefits from that other than the people who've already hoarded all the most expensive rare stuff and the people who want to invest in it and have the money to put millions of dollars.
I'm gonna totally forget his name. There was that gentleman from Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember what his name is.
I think his name's Miles, but you brought him up, so I don't know.
Yeah, but the guy who he was almost the OG.
Yeah, that Stadium Goods sale, right? He bought all that stuff and
like
the
Nike Moon
shoes.
Yeah,
where it's like these are not sneaker people.
The one thing I would say, to counter that, maybe
Miles Nadal, is that his name?
I don't think it might be.
I don't even know if it's a counter. The complex closets of the rarest Jordan collection that we filmed.
Yeah.
An anonymous collector.
Again. Yeah, I don't think that this goes into any point. It's just kind of an aside. Like, I left that place like so inspired. What I would say about that collection and what you were saying where like it doesn't hold up, I see that as like the other counter to that argument. Just having all those rare pairs with so much history and putting it together at a time when it wasn't all about get rich quick.
Yes.
That collection stands out to me as like not glitzy auction wise, but just a crazy amount of shoes that were amassed.
It's just it's a hard world to kind of pinpoint or figure out because we just have Fat Joe on the show and he's talking about having one of the world's greatest sneaker collections, right? Where he's obtained mass and volume of all these rare shoes, but that's not even the same like world as this collectibles space. They're just two different things. They're like kind of there, but I also don't feel like people going out there and getting game-worn Air Jordans and having a collection of it at their house is, I'm the biggest sneakerhead because I have all these Michael Jordan shoes.
It's a different level, and I think the memorabilia aspect of it, and when you bring Jordan in, totally changes it. And, and
that's a good point. That's maybe what I was trying to say more like in a more sufficient way,
But also, even that stuff, I don't think we can say for sure is going to hold its value because at the same time that these Yeezys fell off, there was also the Jordan-worn airships, which sold for $624,000 last week at Goldin after going for $1.5 million a couple of years ago. So even though I do think that when it comes to sports memorabilia and somebody like Jordan, his legacy is set, it can't be torpedoed in the way that Ye did to his. I still think that value in those items is not necessarily rock solid.
Yeah. Joe, have you come around to the J Balvin Air Jordan 3s yet?
The black one?
Nowhere.
The white ones?
Oh, I don't wear white.
Yeah, but can you find a place in your heart for that sneaker?
The white one?
Yeah.
No. Black one, yes.
So we still haven't come around.
No.
Is this a campaign that you're working on?
Yeah, I just want to like at some point, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back where there was the white shoe that JLP couldn't live without.
No, that listen, props to Balvin. You saw Balvin with MJ at NASCAR.
Yeah.
And the black ones, I'm all in. You know that. But
I think the white shoe looks sweet.
You'll know this. What's the last and maybe only dominant white Jordan I've wore in the past few years?
Closing us out with some trivia. It's not the white cement Jordan 3, is it?
No. You know it.
Welty has an encyclopedic
I really
memory.
don't.
It's not all white. I think
this.
I texted both you guys.
CDG Sundermax?
Nope.
Oh,
Jordan.
Union.
That's right.
Union, they're pink, but Union Jordan 4s.
Okay, but isn't it?
He's saying it doesn't even count.
No.
Joe had Fab.
Yes.
Early guest on Sneaker Shopping. Go back and watch the original episode shot at Packer shoes.
Yes.
I think
Fabulous on Sneaker Shopping?
Yeah.
Fabulous, who was at the Nike World Basketball Festival.
You missed it. Sorry.
Fab got an early pair on the original episode. This is tying back to recent events of the James Worthy Packer New Balance basketball sneakers, similar to the Joe Freshgoods.
Oh.
Whatever. New Balance MJ basketball sneaker.
It's all tied together.
All tied together, but then you have him back on Sneaker Shopping.
Yes.
And
I texted you guys.
He was having internal crisis about wearing the Union Jordan 4s, the guava ice.
Oh,
a little light.
You were compromising your
a
values?
little light of a Jordan for me, but I made it through. I made it through.
I think
history will show that as a bigger moment than Devin Booker releasing his first shoe.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it excites me more.
More power to you.
You talk about, we saw the Joe Freshgoods interview. You're very excited. He put the battery in your back he said, go ahead and clap back sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you've been a little more quiet since he gave you that advice.
I haven't had as many things to say lately.
You've been off of X?
No, I haven't been off of it, but I just...
switch to Threads?
No.
I know.
But, yeah.
Okay. Listen, you guys got some travel coming up.
Yeah. But we'll be around. We're here next week.
Yeah.
We got a break coming up soon, but we'll address that when we get there.
Yeah.
I just want to say it, though. I really do like that J Balvin white Air Jordan 3. I think they did an awesome job with that sneaker.
Yeah, shouts to him.
Your boy Frank Cook helped out on that?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll see him next week.
Oh.
Huh? All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneakers Show.
I don't know what he's talking about.
We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, comment, and we will see you next week.